Comrade Leader, Comrade Steve McGregor. We're here because we believe in Steve. Other distinguished comrades on the platform, comrades, workers, and warriors of Central Kingston, good evening. Comrades, you know, when I walk with my Integrity Commission report, you know what I'm going to deal with tonight? I'm going to deal with corruption. Floyd said the Senate is hereby called to order. But I don't have the absolute privilege of in the Senate. So since we know we have a lawsuit government that tries to muzzle everyone with lawsuits, but them know, said this man, no afraid of no man, no girl, no way. But I write out my remarks tonight, to be sure. But comrades, this JLP administration is all about raping and looting the taxpayers of this country. And they cover it up with misinformation, propaganda, and lies. And I tell you something, comrades, and I want you to listen to this carefully because I want to hear you saying it back to me. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Comrades, Andrew Holness can't hold anyone accountable because his own hanky-panky has been exposed by the Integrity Commission of Jamaica. His financial declarations for 2021, 2022, 2023 remain uncertified, casting a dark cloud over his leadership. The Integrity Commission's investigative report of August 2024 in respect of concerns that he owns assets disproportionate to his lawful earnings. That report unearthed some damning revelations. One, millions in raw cash from unknown depositors were lodged to the Prime Minister's personal account. Now I can tell you as a banker that any first-year bank employee, commercial bank employee, trained and sensitized in anti-money laundering should flag these transactions as suspicious transactions. Second, the 28 bank accounts between his personal and associated companies saw almost $500 million, $470 million in thousands of transactions passing through those accounts over a few years. That is at a time when his official income was $10 or so million a year. But 470 million passed through those accounts in thousands of transactions. Then we also heard about this Positive Jamaica Foundation that was soliciting funds for charitable purposes like COVID relief. But then we later learned that he used the money collected from Positive Jamaica Foundation to purchase a bond for his own benefit. And when the Integrity Commission exposed it, first he said it was an error. And then later, that is actually not a charity, it's just a regular company. Comrades, shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. The Integrity Commission referred Honus's questionable financial dealings to the Financial Investigation Division, the FID. That is the entity that investigates financial crimes such as money laundering. I want you to pay attention to me tonight, you know. So what has happened since the Integrity Commission referred Andrew Honus to the Financial Investigation Division? Well, first, I shared with you when I came to the Allman Town Conference, because we had to get it out of a U.S. report. There was nothing about it in Jamaica. That the Financial Investigation Division was being starved of human and financial resources. They had one third of the establishment of staff that they should have. Now, any entity which has only one where they should have three cannot function properly. What happened next? We hear Honus filed a lawsuit against the Integrity Commission, attempting to tie them up hand and foot so that these investigations couldn't proceed. And he even sought a declaration to declare the defense of illicit enrichment, offense of illicit enrichment, as unconstitutional. Now that is the offense that he is being investigated for. So he goes to the court to try and declare it unconstitutional. But comrades, if that wasn't bad and bad enough, just this afternoon, we learned that Dennis Strong, an apologist for the Jamaica Labour Party and Andrew Honus, that he has now been appointed the Chief Technical Director in charge at the Financial Investigation Division. What can go so?
Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! PNP coming again!
This man, who is now in charge of the entity that is supposed to be investigating Andrew Honus, is a man who has publicly attacked the Integrity Commission report and publicly disagreed with its findings and publicly said that Andrew Honus has done nothing wrong. So why would a man that has already declared his bias in the public be appointed as the same agency, to head the same agency that is to do the investigation? His public comments demonstrate his clear bias. Andrew Honus' appointment of a man who has a conflict of interest and demonstrated public bias is a corrupt decision. And we all have to draw the conclusion that there is no intention to do any serious investigation at the FID. Comrade, shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. But let me turn to something closer to home. I want to address what is being called the $31 million drill scandal. Once again, we find this lawsuit government and its cronies attempting to gag any inquiry into potential corruption or prevent exposure of corruption. There is a company called Medical Technologies that supplies hundreds of millions in medical equipment to the Ministry of Health. The majority owner of the shares is listed as Donovan Williams. And if you have any doubt, it is the same Donovan Williams who is the outgoing member of parliament for this constituency of Central Kingston. When Dr. Dawes started investigating this transaction, because persons from within the Ministry of Health who are afraid of victimization but couldn't take the teeth in no more, contact him and say, this transaction smells fishy. Involving the supply of a drill that both Dawes and many other medical professionals suspected was overpriced. So Dr. Dawes went to the company's office of Jamaica, and their records showed that Donovan Williams was the majority owner. The company's office of Jamaica. This was not just plucked out of thin air. This was not speculation. Comrade Dawes did the responsible thing. He went to the company's office of Jamaica and he found that the majority shareholder was Donovan Williams, outgoing member of parliament for Central Kingston. When he announced that, Williams started howl and protest that he is not really the owner, but holding the shares in trust for a still undisclosed owner, person A. Now, just stop and understand this. Here is a company selling hundreds of millions of dollars of medical equipment. Equipment that if it is flawed, can lead to death of Jamaicans. Equipment that if it is overpriced, will mean that Jamaicans will die because less resources will be available for healthcare in Jamaica. And yet, this government supposedly does not know who the owner of medical technology is. A could stand for anything. I'm not going to say it stand for Andrew. No, I don't want you to get me in any trouble. But A could stand for a money launderer. A could stand for a terrorist. A could stand for a criminal kingpin. Or it could stand for somebody with a clear conflict of interest in the Ministry of Health or within the health system. So, comrades, it don't end there. It don't end there. Comrades, I want you to listen to me. Beg you cool down the argument in the front. This is very important. And remember, we're talking here tonight not just to Central Kingston. We're talking to the entire Jamaica. So I want you to listen closely. So this Donovan Williams has come out and declared that he is not the ultimate beneficial owner of this company, but he is just a trustee hiding the identity of the real owner. So let me just take you back, Comrade Floyd. I believe you and I were both in the Senate when we were debating the 2023 bill to amend the Companies Act. And in that debate, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith warned Parliament, and I quote, "Failure to act risks FATF blacklisting." FATF stands for Financial Action Task Force. This is an international agency that if they graylist or worse, blacklist Jamaica. Pure problems for our financial system, pure problems for our economy. She said failure to act risks FATF blacklisting, which would cripple Jamaica's economy, jeopardizing businesses, government operations, and everyday citizens by branding us as a high-risk jurisdiction. End quote. So what we now find Donovan Williams confessing is that Meditech, a company linked to this sitting Jamaica Labour Party MP, is openly violating this law. Medtech's breaches would include failure to disclose beneficial owners, those holding 25% plus of the shares. Ignoring the 14-day statutory deadline to update corporate records, and submitting incomplete, delayed disclosures to authorities. Despite these violations, Donovan Williams remains listed as the major shareholder, dismissively claiming to act as a trustee, a role that does not exempt compliance. Comrades, shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. Comrades, this thieving, bare-faced and dry-eye government will steal fertilizer from small farmers. It will thief Nutribon from school picnic. And it will even steal from sick children at Bustamante Hospital. Shame trees don't grow at Belmont Road. But Poncianas bloom at Old Hope Road. Bloom from anger, disgust, and outrage. Time come for Poncianas to bloom all across Jamaica with anger, disgust, and outrage. Tonight I call on all well-thinking Jamaicans, the faith-based institutions, the private sector organizations, the academics, the civil society groups. There comes a time when silence and both sidesism is tantamount to complicity. Find some courage and come forward and say enough is enough. Comrades, time come to restore dignity to the name of Jamaica on the international stage. Time come for an MP like Steve McGregor who will uphold the law, not violate it. Time come for a Prime Minister with clean hands and a pure heart like Mark Jefferson Golding. Time come for Mark Golding and the PNP to form a government that will serve the people of Jamaica, not rape and thief from them. Thank you.